Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is the full moon in Pisces divine transmission, astrology deep dive, tarot. We'll go into some shamanic animal medicine as well that I was guided to, and we'll read the Elias Lonsdale insight degrees for Pisces of 17 degrees. So let's get into it. So as you've been feeling this energy for the last, I would say, almost 32 hours now, has been feeling very dreamlike, it's giving me that Wizard of Oz poppy field vibe with Mercury stationed retrograde on top of the new moon energies. And I feel that the collective has been a very slow day, a very smooth day energetically, very intuitive day, like a very internal deep dive day. And yeah, so I'll read the divine transmission first because that came through loud and clear, and I got guided to channel the charts for you live, so to speak, like whilst I'm recording this, as opposed to writing down messages from the charts. I got guided to do it whilst I was recording, so we'll see what happens. The divine transmission that came through a few days ago when feeling into this moon, I got exposing the blind spots. I think it was last week, actually, more than a few days ago. And so the channeled message that came through for you all for today is: just as the eagle and the condor soar on the undercurrents of the air turbulence at great heights, so too must you in these energies we are gifted this evening through to the next 3 days. Effortlessly, weightlessly, seemingly floating and observing all the ebbs and flows from our reality with keen, detached observation. This is a holographic multiverse after all. See the distinction in the nuances of energy afforded to you in each now passing moment. Observe as each moment creates the next, blending and weaving, twisting and turning, bending and flexing, all in a divinely choreographed cosmic dance, just for you and your enjoyment. Then realizing you are but one with it all. Everything that comes into and passes out of your experienced realities are for greater divine purpose and serves yours on this path you are ever traversing. Yes, you are being challenged as more and more timelines shift and open for you to explore, entertain, and experience. However, this is where you must attune to higher divine will by activation of your throat chakra. Speak to the universe and own all of your desires, all of your wishes, all you know, and pray to release for integration within you so you may step more boldly into your purpose on the path of the heart you have chosen to walk again this life. Hum, sing, scream, shout, and howl to assist in activating your throat chakra. Tapping just below your collarbones to activate your higher heart and its truths to the surface. Allow whatever comes to come, flow with it like water. In forcing energy or anything to shift in your life, you will be met with resistance of outside forces. Therefore, you must, just as the eagle and the condor do, work smarter, not harder, to achieve the exalted results which you desire. Allow the universe and the cosmos, God, source, creator, Wankantanka, the great mystery, to be the undercurrents filling your wings. Just got chills. So you may You too may soar effortlessly, weightlessly, in a divinely guided way towards dreams far beyond what you have yet dared to dream. End of transmission. So, I want to go into a little bit about Pisces as a zodiac sign. So we know that it's the 12th zodiac, so it's the end of the zodiac wheel before we begin again at Aries. This denotes immediately a higher spiritual mastery, like the master, the end of the zodiac. Yes, it's traversed the full lesson of each of the zodiac signs and gathered all of that wisdom and learnings and teachings along its path, right? It also is ruled by Neptune, which rules our third eye and our pineal gland. I have linked a Neptune retrograde article I wrote a couple of years ago going into detail about Neptune and Poseidon and the gods and such, so I'm not going to dive into that too much here. However, Neptune also rules things like the film industry. Pisces as a zodiac sign is very dreamy, very much automatically, and sometimes without it being conscious to them, they are picking up on everything around them. Like the analogy I use is, think about the fish in the water. The fish will feel every bit of energy in the water, every current shift, things like this, and it will pick up on different smells and different vibrations in the water. That's the same as a person with heavy Pisces placements or someone who has heavy Neptune placements. They are constantly receiving and emitting energy, just like water, like osmosis, right? So they're also, we'll go back to their being very dreamy. Sometimes the shadow of this can be quite elusive, secretive, can kind of be a little bit dominating or controlling, a little bit, that's the shadow side of Pisces. However, the lighter side of Pisces is very free, carefree sort of energy, and very much inquisitive, even if that does mean that it's only through silent observation. However, Pisces as a zodiac sign will, how do we want to say? They will be observing their environment and the people that they connect with on a multi-dimensional level, energetically, as well as psychically, as well as what they're being presented in the 3D, and all of that information is categorized or not categorized even, just like incorporated as one massive download, right? I don't know what I've done with my labradorite. Crisis averted, found it. Okay, so it'll be coming in one massive download, and we have to understand that with Piscean people, even if you don't know that they're Piscean people at first, what you'll realize and come to notice is that if Pisces is in a bad mood, unless they're super self-aware and conscious and able to manage their energy, it will be felt through the room. So likewise, as they are picking up on everything that they are feeling, unless of course, as I said, they're super self-aware and can manage their energy, their whole environment, no matter where it is or what it is, will feel what the Pisces is feeling. So let's move on to the charts. Okay, so the first chart that you're looking at now is the natal wheel, and as you can see, the moon is conjunct Neptune in the 12th house, which is Pisces energy. So it's a super amplification of Pisces energy. Now, you can see that it's squaring Mars, it's in semi-sextile to Saturn, it's sextiling the Uranus North Node conjunction, and it's also in semi-sextile to Chiron. So this here, it's really with the Moon conjunct Neptune squaring over to Mars. This, I feel, is that energy that I've been feeling of, well, I'm in a really slow sort of vibe. I feel in a slowed down, it's like super slow-mo energy, you know, and it's like I'm not in any rush. I'm feeling like I can just take my time, especially like with the Moon in semi-sextile to Saturn. It's like I know I have things to do and I know what to focus on, but I'm not in any rush to that, because the sextile to Uranus is just saying that, you know, you can see a path of least resistance here. Yeah. And then of course the sextile over to the North Node conjunct Uranus, it's very much making it a clear, as the divine transmission is saying, exposing your blind spots, you know. It's like, well, where have I been limiting myself, and how can I find an easier route? Yeah. We also are seeing the Sun, of course, squaring to Mars as well in quincunx to Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. So the Sun quincunxing Saturn retrograde, that is giving you that, it's a constant reminder of your to-do list, basically. It's holding you to task, even though you're in this sort of dreamy, kind of almost like psychedelic sort of trip, minus the crazy visions, unless of course you've microdosed or something today. And then we've got the Sun trining that North Node Uranus conjunction. So that again is, a trine is a beneficial aspect, just as a sextile is. It does require a little bit more effort into making things happen. However, you also have the Sun trining Pluto retrograde as well, and then it's in quincunx to Chiron retrograde. So the trine over to Saturn, now it's come off that trioctile. It's a lot nicer energy. It's still asking us to reflect. It's still asking us and showing us where we can do better with that quincunx, Sun quincunx Saturn retrograde. However, because it's a trine aspect again, it's much more supportive. So yes, it can still feel tremendously deep if we're going to resist it, but if we surrender into it and just allow, as the transmission said, like, be like water, just allow whatever comes to come. Yeah. And don't resist it, because it's there to serve your purpose. It's there to show you what you've been missing, so to speak, in viewing yourself. Okay. Now we are also seeing Mercury in semi-sextile to Venus, trining over to Mars, and in opposition now to Jupiter retrograde. So this here, it's giving me a vibe of, I know which way I want to go, even though Mercury's in opposition to Jupiter retrograde, right? It's giving me the notions and the feelings of, I know which way to go, because I know what my values are, I know what my morals are, and now it's just a way of putting in that extra effort with the Mercury trine Mars, okay? Putting in that extra effort just to make it happen, because we are seeing Venus squaring Mars as well, and in quincunx to Jupiter retrograde. So this is amplifying these notions, okay, of that honoring of the value, and also taking action on the value, and massive paradigm shifts surrounding what your true value and worth are to yourself, and how you want to reflect that out into your friends circle and your community, you know. So what else do we need to touch on here? Oh yes, Mars is still in that trioctile energy to Pluto retrograde. So this is as well, like I've touched on it a couple of times in the weekly energy tips. So if you want to go back and have a look at both of those, the last 2 weeks of those, I touch on the trioctile between Mars and Pluto. We did have the Sun in trioctile to Pluto at the same time there 2 weeks ago. So now that the Sun has moved off of that, it's just the Mars in trioctile to, or sessi quadrant, I believe is the other terminology for a trioctile. It's 135 degrees. To Pluto, we're still having that dominating energy in connections and in conversations and showing up in our reality of people trying to control us, or we're trying to control people. And I feel like, you know, and reactions and outcomes and things like that. Whereas the rest of the cosmos is like, you need to surrender right now and focus on what we're attempting to show you. So I'll go into the traditional chart here. And as you can see, this is broken down the decans into the munifices, okay? So we have the moon. Not only do we have Mercury stationed retrograde, we have the moon in the traditional decans, or the traditional chart, in the degree of 17 degrees, which is Mercury ruled. So we have extra Mercury energy. Not only that, the South Node is in Mercury energy, as well as Mercury in Libra is in Mercury energy. And we have Venus at 6 degrees, which is on the cusp of, or in Virgo, but it's on the cusp of that Mercury and Venus part of the decans of the traditional chart here. What I am really loving to see is the amount of Jupiter influence we've got going on. The Sun is at 17 degrees of Virgo, which is Jupiter ruled. Mars is at 11 degrees, which is Jupiter ruled, and Jupiter is at 5 degrees, which is just inside the Jupiter decan there of Aries. So that's really beneficial, I feel, because traditionally ruled, Neptune was ruled by Jupiter before Neptune was discovered. Pisces, was ruled by Neptune before Jupiter was discovered. I'm pretty sure I said that correctly the first time around, but you get my meaning. Now, the next chart you're looking at, I'm bringing up the helio again just to show you. Now we have Jupiter at 2 degrees of Aries, Neptune at 13. We have Mercury over in Aquarius in helio as well. So that's a vast difference to Mercury in Libra. And however, it's still an air sign. So being Uranus ruled though, it's giving us, as the transmission said, it's giving us a little bit of a higher perspective and a higher awareness coming in, okay? And also meant to note as well, that Venus, is still in Leo here, not in Virgo. So in helio, we still have, as you can see here, I'll bring up the chart for both helio and geo now. So the outside wheel is the helio, and with the orange, and the blue inside there is the geocentric, so the earth-centric chart. And you can see here that Venus is in Virgo, but in the helio it's there in Leo. Bear with me, guys. Now we'll go on to the asteroid chart. So the asteroids here, you can see that Juno is conjunct the moon there, at 14 degrees. And if we go over to the other chart here, you can see all of these extra asteroids that we've got going on. I've brought up a zoomed page for you so you can have a look there to see. I'm just going to zoom in myself on the screen here. You can see that we've got Nessus, Ankaa, Homam, Kleopatra, Holima. I wasn't able to find much information on Holmia. However, Juno is missing from this zoomed in page that you're looking at right now. However, I will go into Juno, which is the Roman, and Hesta, which is the Greek. I believe I've got that around the correct way. I'll go into Nessus, I'll go into Ankaa, I will go into Kleopatra, and I will go into Homam. So let's get into it. So Juno in Pisces. Okay, so Juno was discovered in 1804. Yeah. It was the third asteroid discovered after Ceres by the astronomer Kaale. And also it was considered a planet at first too, and was later reclassified. So Juno is the goddess of marriage, childbirth, as well as women's sexuality. She was the wife of the supreme Roman deity Jupiter, or Jupiter. She was the patron Rome and protector of the state, and a much respected deity, especially because of her devotion and loyalty toward her husband, who didn't deserve such behavior. Jupiter was not faithful to his wife Juno and had numerous affairs she was aware of. Juno in astrology symbolizes commitment, compromises, marriage, relationship, infidelity, betrayal, etc. It indicates which areas of our lives need balancing. Juno has the energy of Libra, Scorpio, or Venus and Pluto. So, Jupiter in Pisces can make people insecure and jealous, especially if it's very badly aspected, suspicious, yeah. And it can indicate the attitude where we consider deal breaker or abusive behaviors in relationship. And it can also indicate our readiness to put up with something in relationship which could prove to be detrimental for it and cause the relationship to end. It also reveals the potentiality for longevity in our marriages and long-term relationships, as well as the possibility of having more than one marriage. So Juno the goddess, she was the daughter of Saturn, yes, as well as the mother of Mars, Vulcan, Bellona, and Juventus. So like Hera, which Hera is the Greek version of Juno, which I'll go into in a moment. Her sacred animal was the peacock, and her Etruscan counterpart was Uni, and she was said to also watch over the women of Rome as a patron goddess of the Roman Empire. Juno was called Regina, which is queen, and was a member of the Capitoline Triad, or Juno Capitolina, centered on the Capitoline Hill in Rome, and also included Jupiter and Minerva, goddess of wisdom. Juno's own warlike aspect among the Romans is apparent in her attire. She was often shown armed and wearing a goatskin cloak. The traditional depiction of this warlike aspect was assimilated from the Greek goddess Athena, who bore a goatskin or goatskin shield called the Aegis. Juno was also shown wearing a diadem. So, Hera, ancient Greek religion. Yeah, Hera in iconic and Homeric Greek is the goddess of marriage, women and family as well, right? So the same ideologies and beliefs, but in different cultures. So her iconography usually presents her as a dignified matronly figure, upright or enthroned, crowned with Apollos or a diadem, sometimes veiled as a married woman. She is the patron goddess of lawful marriage, and she presides over weddings, blesses and legalizes marital unions, and protects women from harm during childbirth. Her sacred animals include the cow, cuckoo, and the peacock, and she is sometimes shown holding a pomegranate as an emblem of immortality. So now we want to go into Nessus. So Nessus is an asteroid which is currently at 15 degrees of Pisces. Now, Nessus is the abuser. It means Greek in baby bird or strange bird. It transits between Saturn and Pluto on an approximate 123-year cycle. So it's centauric consciousness, Nessus is, okay? So it's the part to do with ourselves on a personal and emotional, psychological and spiritual level. The other side of the coin relates to the evolution or regression of the collective and the ancestral lineages from which we were born. So it's located in the cupular belt. This very much leans towards a Platonic Pluto energy of only life can be birthed from a death, and the struggle between which of each is attempting to occur and discerning what must both die and be given new life. So the story of Nessus is that he was killed by Hercules after raping his wife, whilst assisting them to cross a river. Nessus in turn killed Hercules by gifting Hercules' wife, Diana, some of his blood as she was scorned from Hercules' cheating. Nessus told Diana his blood would prevent Hercules from straying. It wasn't until after she had packed a garment with the blood of Nessus onto it into Hercules' things, when he went off to celebrate his heroism, did she discover the deception. However, it was too late, and she was being unable to warn Hercules. He died a slow and painful death by the blood of Nessus' poison blood. So Nessus epitomizes abuse, violence, control, deception, manipulation, our deepest of shadows beyond our Chiron wound, our pre-existing condition at a soul level, and it rules things such as rape and suicide, mass extermination, and all traumas as a result thereof. So we've got Nessus active, and as you've seen, I've brought up a picture of the asteroid there for you. Now let's go back to Kleopatra. So Kleopatra is at 19 degrees, yes, of Pisces, named after the famous queen. Here's a picture. A key point in understanding Cleopatra in the chart is understanding that the Egyptian Cleopatra was not a queen of Egypt, but a queen of all other races were considered less. This meant that she had absolute authority and was considered a goddess in human form that was sent to rule the world. This asteroid, therefore, on a basic level, represents where we see ourselves as infallible gods or goddesses and struggle to see our flaws. This is giving me very similar Nessus vibes, guys. Like, I'm reading this and taking it in as I'm preparing this with you. So yeah, this is very much I can do no wrong, like omnipotent, infallible, energies. However, there is much more to Cleopatra than this. Cleopatra was co-ruler with her brother, and they took opposing sides, with Cleopatra taking the view that the best position was to form an alliance with Rome, and her brother believing they should fight for independence. This led to Cleopatra committing what some would consider as treason in order to gain control of the throne. However, her sister, Asino, almost killed Caesar, and he had to swim for his life before returning to Egypt with a larger army. Asino, well, I hope I'm pronouncing that even close to correct, was chained and dragged to Rome, where she was meant to be killed in front of the Roman crowd for entertainment. This backfired, and the crowd were enraged. Caesar then quietened the crowd by having her imprisoned in the temple of Artemis in Ephesus, and she could claim sanctuary and be safe from harm, but could not leave. However, after Caesar's death, Cleopatra broke the sacredness of the sanctuary by asking Mark Antony to drag her out of the temple and have her murdered. In short, Cleopatra gives us great strength and charisma wherever it is placed in the chart. However, it makes us blind to our faults and flaws, which can lead us to breaking moral and legal codes and laws in order to fill our own ambition in life, regardless of its effects on others. In aspect to the moon, it indicates strong maternal influence from which the the individual shares a lot of character, traits, and perspectives. So that's interesting, isn't it? Considering all of the things that are taking place in the world right now, and we've got Nessus, the abuser, conjuncting Neptune, massive gaslighting vibes, right, that we've been experiencing for the last 2-3 almost 3 years. And then we've got Kleopatra involved as well, and it's like that energy of I'll do anything to be ahead, I'll do anything to get my way, so to speak. Very much what we've been seeing in the 3D. All right, so now we'll bring up the fixed stars. So the fixed star chart that you're looking at here, we're going to be going into, in this section, we're going to be going into Archernar, which is at 15 degrees of Pisces, Ankaa, which is at 15 degrees as well. Archernar is at 15 degrees and 36 minutes. Ankaa is at 15 degrees and 47 minutes. However, they are in 2 separate constellations. We have Eridanus, which is the constellation of that Archernar is in, and we have the Phoenix constellation, which Ankaa is in. And then at 16 degrees and 27 minutes, we have the fixed star Homam, which is in the Pegasus constellation. So, looking at the Eridanus, I believe is the correct pronunciation. Eridanus, the river, it's a southern constellation under Taurus and between Cetus and Orion. And it spans 90 degrees of the Zodiac of Pisces, Aries, and Taurus and Gemini, and contains 15 fixed stars. Now, as you can see here, it's the mouth of the river as well. I've brought up a pictograph of what the constellation looks like, and I've got a zoomed in screen there. You can see it is the mouth of the river. And so I feel that's really significant at this time, considering these energies, especially with all the Mercurial, the Neptunian, Jupiter energy. It's very much giving birth and life to whatever it is that we want to focus on, and however we want to channel our energies. So Eridanus represents the river Pegasus or Po, into which Phaeton fell when slain by Jupiter for having set the world on fire by misguiding the chariot of his father Phoebus. According to Ptolemy, all the stars, with the exception of Archernar, are like Saturn: disgrace, ruin, and calamity. It rising, great, grave, thoughtful, melancholy, liable to disgrace, much care and anxiety, connected to building, mines, and minerals. So, it gives Eridanus, the constellation, gives a love of knowledge and science, much travel and many changes, a position of authority but danger of accidents, especially at sea, and of drowning. So it's divided into the northern and southern stream, the former winding from the star Rigel of Orion to the pores of Cetus, and later is Cetus, C-E-T-U-S, Cetus. I'm pretty sure that's a hound of hell for some reason. I'm just going to Google that right now. Cetus. Yes. An Antipalladian rides a Cetus into the mouth of the Hellbone Harbour. What is that? Okay. The other thing I found was that it is Cetus in mythology is a sea monster. So let's go back. Okay. I just had to check that. That was weird. Okay, so where was I? Oh yes, the latter extending thence southwards, southeast, and finally southwest. So although the ancients popularly regarded it as an indefinite extent, in classical astronomy, the further termination was at the star Athena of South Declaration, but modern astronomers have carried it to about 60 degrees as opposed to the 40 degrees. So this is constellation Eridanus is also Urania's mirror. So it issues forth all the pictures from the downcoming foot of Orion, while others see it in from ignorance of fabled stories, only the river Po or the river Euphrates. We see it in the from its meaning of its name and from the significance of its position, the river of the judge. So now we go on to the fixed star itself. Archernar gives us success in public office, beneficence and religion. As you can see here, it's a really bright white, like, well, it looks like a four-pointed star, but it's just a reflection, right? But it's really quite beautiful. So Archernar at the end of the Eridanus river possesses a Jupiter nature. Oh my goodness, so more Jupiter energies with a dash of Mars and Uranus character. Interesting, very interesting. Consider both Mars is in trioctile to Pluto retrograde, and the Uranus is conjunct the North Node right now, so our northern star, the way in which we and the collective need to head, yeah? So it's interesting that this Archernar star is conjunct this new and this full moon. Sorry, I keep saying new moon for some reason, but full Pisces moon and Neptune. So well placed, it promises happiness and success by giving good morals, faithful adherence to one's religion, beliefs, or philosophical inclination. According to tradition, Archernar is credited with bestowing high offices in the church, especially if conjuncting Jupiter. Well, we know that it's not. So Archernar star rules the center of the left foot in the human body. So as you with the river as well, Archernar is from Arabic of Al Ahia El Nar, which is the end of the river. Next up, yeah, I feel that's all on Archernar, because there's quite a lot to go into as well, so I want to keep you interested, so we'll keep it moving. So the next constellation you'll see is Phoenix constellation, which is Ankaa, I believe is the correct pronunciation. Gives me again like Arabic or Egyptian vibes. So Phoenix constellation is a minor constellation in the southern sky, named after the mythical bird, of course. It spans 30 degrees of the Zodiac, from 4 degrees of Pisces to 4 degrees of Aries, and it was included in Johann Bayer's 1603 Uranometria, but ancient Arabian astronomers knew it as the griffin or eagle. So isn't that interesting that the eagle and the condor came up in the divine transmission? Because I only pulled up all these references. I'm reading them with you now. So I just want to point that out. Yeah, that's beautiful. In the Middle East, the constellation was called Al Rial and Al Zurak, the latter which means the boat. The terminology makes sense as the constellation is located nearby to the Eridanus, the river constellation. So, what do we have for Ankaa? As you can see here, this is another, it looks like another four-pointed star, but it's really quite beautiful orange color. Now, it's connected to ambition and lasting fame, and is associated with the desire to seek change, things connected to the planet touches. Yeah, so we've got it conjuncting the moon, we've got it conjuncting Neptune. It's all of, and it's in a mercurial decan, don't forget. And I believe actually, if it's at 14 degrees, I'll just double check the traditional chart right here while I'm on the. If it's at 14 degrees, it's going to be in the Jupiter munificus, of the traditional chart. So we've got more Jupiter energies on that. So whatever you're focusing on is going to expand, right? And then we've got this fixed star in there as well. So the most famous celebrity associated is Joseph Campbell. I love Joseph Campbell. He is a legend in my personal opinion, whose legacy is related to raising consciousness through myth. All right, anything else on Ankaa? Yes, here. Now, as you can see, again, this came up in the transmission about the throat chakra. Ankaa is in the throat of the phoenix. The throat chakra isn't just about communication, it is our divine will. It is our willpower. It's the center from which we take care of ourselves as well, okay? So it is Arabic. Spelling for Ankaa is Al-Ankh in the phoenix, also called, we've been through that, bright one in the boat is another name for it. It formed a line curving towards the south like of the primitive boat, which features as Al-Zaraq, the Arabs knew them. Phoenix was said to come from Phoenica. The Phoenicians were a seafaring people, and the boat would be an appropriate association. Astrological influences: the star has been activated in the invention of Braille. Interesting. And the early bird satellite was used to transmit television pictures across the Atlantic. It's said to give a pioneering disposition, ambition and power, together with long life and lasting fame. Beautiful. So all benefic points. Yes, there is some shadow there, but when is there not in life, right? So the next constellation and fixed star is Pegasus and Homam. So Pegasus is the winged horse, of course. It's in the northern constellation above Aquarius constellation and below the Cygnus constellation, between Delphinus constellation and Andromeda constellation, and spans 40 degrees of the zodiac in the signs of Aries and Pisces, and contains 16 named fixed stars. According to Ptolemy, the bright stars are like Mars and Mercury. Interesting. The constellation gives ambition, vanity, intuition, enthusiasm, caprice, and bad judgment, prevails against disease of horses, and preserves horsemen in battle. This part of me, I'm going to get a bit of a drink before I get a little bit too... Excuse me. Alright, so Pegasus, like birds, angels and most celestial winged creatures, is an allegory for the superior spiritual power that the hero first sought out to aid him in his task. The owl represents the wisdom side of that same power, and the star's great square enclosing the body in the horse, the great square of Pegasus, marked by the stars Alpheratz, Shkat, Makab, and El-Ginib. Mythologically, he was the son of Neptune and Medusa, sprung by his father's command from the blood of the latter, which dropped into the sea after her head had been severed by Perseus, and was named either from Pegae, the springs of the ocean, the place of his birth, or from Pegos, which is strong. He was snowy white in colour and the favourite of the muses, for he had caused to flow their fountain Perrine on Helicon, or Hippocrene on the Acrocorinthus, whence came one of the constellation titles, Fontes Masurum Inventa. Pegasus then rose alone to his permanent place among the stars, becoming the thundering horse of Jove that carried the divine lightning. Broschke mentions as in its location an Egyptian constellation, the Servant, and some of its stars would seem to be shown on the Dendra planisphere as a jackal. It will bring forth people endowed with swiftness of movement and limbs alert to perform every task. One man will cause his horse to wheel around in caracoles, and proudly mounted on his back he will wage war from on high, horseman and soldier in one. Another will possess the ability to rob the racecourses of true length that is such a speed that he will seem to dissemble the movement of his feet and make the ground vanish before him. Who more swiftly could fly back from the ends of the earth as a messenger, or with light foot to the earth's ends make his way? He will also heal a horse's wounds with the sap of the common plants, and will know the herbs which bring aid to the animal's limbs and those which grow for the use of man. Beautiful. Pegasus carrying us from the age of Pisces to Aquarius. So Pegasus was born from the union of Neptune and Medusa. That's very interesting. So Homam, I believe is how you pronounce it. And if you're looking at this picture, Homam is in the throat chakra as well. Seems to have been first given the Palermo catalogue from Sadal Homam, the lucky star of the hero, in which the 15th century Tatar astronomer Alberg included Zeta. Other lists have Homam, but the 17th century English Orientalist Thomas Hyde said that the original was Al-Hamam, the whisperer. Okay, lucky star of the ostriches, and Al-Kaysay, the bright fortunate one of the two beasts, which the 10th century Persian astronomical writer Al-Sufi had said that were Theta and Nu. Thus, she was one of the general group of Al-Suad al-Nujum, the fortunate stars. The Chinese called it Liu Tian, thunder, and the astrological influences of Pegasus. I really do hope you enjoyed the brief astrology run through there. I did try to keep it short and snappy so that it's kind of like entertaining enough to be like, yep, there's some information, boom, done, you know what I mean? And then it's more watchable for you guys. So I have this book here. It's called The Divine Zodiac Messages, right? I bought it years ago when I was at one of the Psychic and Wellbeing festivals. Anyways, I was guided to it today, and I found that there is it's angel messages, zodiac signs, archangels, everything, right? There's animal messages for the zodiac, and when I looked, it has wolf as the message for Pisces. Now, as some of you may not know, wolf is my first spirit animal that came through to me. So wolf is very dear to my heart. So I feel it's really beautiful that wolf has appeared. Shyla is my guide and Drake is my other wolf guide, have come through today, because for me, wolf medicine, I'll bring up some different photos for you to have a look now of just different wolves, because wolf is one of the most misunderstood, along with like snakes and scorpions and things like this, you know, and spiders. They're one of the most misunderstood animal totems, yeah, because people focus on the aggressiveness of the wolf. The thing that you must understand about the wolf, I wrote some key notes down so that like what wolf means to me, okay? So it's impeccable instincts and intuition and intelligence, right? It's loyalty, it's patience and perfect timing. It's teamwork, it's playfulness, it's protection, communication, picking and choosing your battles, you know, like a wolf won't attack when aggression is shown. It will decide on whether it's worthy to be matched or whether the wolf will walk away. Do you know what I mean? Balance and harmony, keen perception and leadership, and also a massive emphasis on freedom. And one of the quotes that have come through for me with regard to wolf medicine over the years of journeying with it is that true freedom requires great discipline. Yeah. So the other words that came in were balance and harmony, if I didn't already say that, and community, of course, because, you know, a lot of people are like, I'm the alpha. That you see it online, like people saying, I'm the alpha this, I'm the alpha that. And it's like, that's all good and well. However, the alpha leads from the back of the pack. The wolves at the very, very front of the pack are the elders or the sick. Yeah. And then it goes down the ranks that way to the alpha is at the back. And then they have two watches, I believe. That's what I'm getting shown right now, right? The alpha's at the back to keep an eye on everybody. Yeah, it leads from the back of the pack. Yeah, so you've got the alpha and the omega. The omega in the pack is like the baby, or the lowest ranking one. Yeah, is the omega. Okay. However, in spiritual communities, and for me personally, being the alpha and the omega, the alpha and the omega to me means that I'm both the teacher and the student. Yeah, always in life, both teacher and student, always. So I'll go into some websites that I looked up for you guys for the wolf symbolism, okay, for the medicine. So, positive symbolism, emphasis on a deep connection with your intuition. On the negative side, the wolf could represent a perceived threat or a lack of trust in someone or your own feelings or actions. This spirit animal also reflects a sharp intelligence in dealing with important matters. So as you can see in the pictures that I've been bringing up, like, yes, they demand authority just by the way that they look, yes, but they are very, very playful. Play fighting as well is massive within wolf packs, yeah, and also, it's 2:22 a.m. Also, whenever a young wolf acts out, it's quickly reprimanded, yeah, swiftly, but gently enough, but forcefully enough for it to get the point, So what else does it say here? Okay, things I've already touched on. So the power of the wolf brings forth instinct, intelligence, appetite for freedom, and awareness of the importance of social connections. This animal can also symbolize fear of being threatened and lack of trust. So pay attention to what your intuition is telling you when wolf shows up in your life. When a wolf manifests its presence as a guide in your life, it could be a call to live your life more freely, to bring the intensity of passion into your everyday endeavors. Wolves are wild animals that are not easily domesticated, and when they appear as spirit guides, they could be an invitation to look at what supports your authentic self and true expression of yourself. The wolf totem is a reminder to keep your spirit alive and trust your instincts to find the way that will best suit you. So, what's these other websites say? I brought two up because I would rather get to share what wolf means to me, because I've been journeying with them for so long now, and yeah, they give me tremendous strength, honestly, and courage. They really do. Alright, this one here, this is spiritanimals.com. This one says, take control of your life and do it with harmony and discipline. The wolf messages, meaning and messages. Oh, beautiful. I love this. This is definitely me. Alright, so this here says, the wolf symbolism is reminding us that although we see ourselves as civilized creatures, we are still animals with a deep-seated wild spirit. In other words, wolf meaning has arrived to teach us about our inner selves. Moreover, as we learn ourselves, we will discover our hidden power and stamina. This creature is a social and highly organized animal. There is a definite hierarchy within the pack. The species also understands the order of things and the balance of harmony and discipline. Therefore, wolf symbolism is also a reminder that our spirit seeks peace, social standing, and acceptance. And then it talks about its howls. So yeah, there can be long, mournful cries. I'm not going to read off the website anymore. I'm just going to share like straight from my heart. Okay, so wolf medicine, the howling of the wolf as well, like it's a way of communication, and it's not always sorrowful. There are happy howls as well. There are other communicated short howls and yips and yaps and things like this as well. And also the behavior of which a wolf approaches another wolf as well. Like, it's all about it's all about respect for boundaries. You know, that's what wolf teaches you as well. Yeah. So, is there anything else we want to share? I just have Shyla here with me now. Thank you. Oh, yes, she's saying seeing in the dark. Thank you. Seeing in the dark, protection as well. Like, you call on the wolf. You call on the wolf if you're unsure of your way. She'll help you find your footing. Yeah? She'll help you trust in your footing and in your steps forward. Thank you, beautiful. And Drake, do you have anything? Really? Alright, so Drake is my other wolf guide. I haven't known him as long as Shyla, but it's coming on to 2 years now. He's saying, when you will find me, you will know. And he's talking of your shadow. Yeah, he's talking of diving into the darkness within you, so that you can embrace it, integrate it, learn how to use it as your strength. Yeah, the things that you hide in the dark, the things that you're most terrified to admit that exist within yourself, those are the things that you can turn into strengths. Yes? It was a very, very steep learning curve for me with that one. Yeah, but it was beautiful at the same time. So I just want to read directly from the book. I haven't read it yet. As soon as I saw it was like a wolf message, I closed the book because I didn't want to read it. So wolf message, and then we'll go into the tarot, and then I'll read Inside Degrees by Ellias Lonsdale, okay? So this book is by Lani. She's an Australian mystic, astrologer, tarot reader, divination, oracle lady. So it says here, message for Pisces from the wolf. Am I starting from the top? Oh, okay. It says here, there's wolf messages, which is the idea that freedom, compassion, and passion can reside harmoniously together. Okay. In many cultures, the wolf appears as a psychopomp, a figure that acts as a mediator between the ego and the unconscious, between death and transformation. Historically, we have over-identified with the dark side of the wolf, but the wolf is not just one or the other. It moves between and throughout both realms. It embodies the light and the shadow. No one seems eager to confront and make peace with the wild wolf lurking around inside of us. Thank you, Drake. Drake got there before the book. For it is easier to despise our projection than to do the personal work necessary to integrate our own inner dark wolf. And Drake is black. Shyla is a grey wolf, mostly white, if you wanted to know, of my guides. But unless we can face and claim the dark aspects of the wolf, we are not free to enjoy the light aspects, the courage, the intelligence, and the fierce joy of living that the wolf also embodies. This is the wolf's challenge to us, is to embrace it all. And that's by Dr. Elizabeth Kirkhart, a Jungian psychologist. So the message goes on. I, the wolf, tend to embody a mythic vision of duality, possessing both masculine and feminine aspects. And since the wolf is considered both a gifted parent, the feminine, and a fierce hunter, the masculine, also because wolves can see well in both day and night. Isn't that what Shyla said? Seeing in the dark? They are considered an animal representing both light and dark. I am ultimately associated with the dual roles of destroyer and provider. I instinctively understand that all we need is love, and I am perfectly capable and willing to provide it. Yes. Deeply emotional and wholly compassionate, I am the lover of the animal totem Zodiac in both the physical and philosophical sense of the word. I am also the messenger and guide to otherworldly realms, especially at the time of a full moon. If you can call upon me at this time, you will be rewarded with my gifts. With me as your totem animal, you possess the gifts of specialized wisdom and the skill of prophecy. You tend to draw a clear line between those who belong to your pack and outsiders. You are intensely loyal to your own, and it can take some time for you to accept others outside of your own circle. Once you do, your sense of loyalty to the whole community is legendary. Due to your unique inner knowing and perspective, you can offer incredible insights and contributions to others within your clan. I stand for endurance and balance and teach you to tread the fine line between independence and dependence, between the needs of others and your own personal development. If it is time for you to move on and to start or lead your own pack, I will support, counsel, and guide you. Wolf energy calls you to acknowledge your primal urges and helps you to take risks in pursuit of your desires. Wolves are faithful animals, offering companionship through the most difficult stages of your spiritual journey. As your solar totem, the spirit animal guide, I remind you of the importance of leadership and that of providing your insightful wisdom to your pack, but also of belonging to it, so all can live in harmony. As Rudyard Kipling so eloquently put it, the strength of the pack is in the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is in the pack. Through my special medicine, this strength is inherent within you too. I love that. I got chills everywhere, like halfway through that. I really hope that you have enjoyed this. I'm going to pause the video and set it up so that I can sit down at the table over here. I just want to say how gracious I am for everyone being here, and thank you to my guides Shyla and Drake for coming through so powerfully tonight for us all. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this presentation so far, and yeah, let's get into the next section. Okay, I'm back, and I've had to put the heater on, guys. It's a bit cold here now. I hope you don't mind the noise. I hope it's not too bad. So I've already cleansed the deck and prepared the deck, but I was just feeling into like that wolf message that we just received, and I was reflecting on when I first met Shyla, and it was in one of the first earlier meditations that I ever did when I really activated my third eye for the first time properly doing meditation, and this wolf appeared out of nowhere, and this was in 2017, and this was well before I'd even heard of the word shamanism, you know, or totem animal or anything like that, and I just felt it was so powerful. And I just, it's an honor to journey with such a powerful animal, you know, like not just as a power animal or a totem animal, but to be chosen to, like, you know, it's an honor. So pay attention when you're meditating. Yeah, you probably have already, but pay attention to what animals and things appear, you know, especially animals. What animals appear in your dreams, I'm feeling to ask right now as well, because that's another way our guides connect with us, you know. And I've been told from a psychic medium channel similar to myself that Shyla has been with me for multiple lifetimes, you know, but this is the first lifetime I've been cognizant of her. So yeah, like, they're with us always. So like, what animals, so for other animals that I've been drawn to since I was a child are eagles and dogs, of course, but elephants, things like that, you know, like turtles. Turtles have always been one of my most favorite animals. So like, yeah, the teachings that the animals can give us are just next level. And so I'm so honored today to reconnect with both Shyla and Drake, because yeah, Drake came to my awareness in 2019. So yeah, thank you. I love you both so much. Yeah. So let's get into the tarot for a collective message. I'm a bit cold, guys. Sorry. I tried to hold off from having the heater on, but it's just, yeah. So, collective message for this full moon in Pisces. Spirit, guardian angels, Archangel Michael, what does the collective need to know? First cut is the Two of Cups. Beautiful. The caduceus sticking out to me straight away then as well, which makes so much sense, because that's our energy center, right? Our yin and our yang, up central Sushumna of the caduceus, and that came up in the weekly energy tip I just posted yesterday. So check that out. Yeah. To the Eight of Pentacles, Two of Cups to the Eight of Pentacles, big commitment energy, guys. To your path, to your unions, to your connections. Yeah. I did a Ruby Ray transmission as well, which is up on my YouTube, so please check that out. That was like a channeled message that came through this afternoon. Ruby Ray, if you don't know, is like Buddha, Mary Magdalene kind of energy. Yeah. What messages, please, do we have for the collective for this full moon? What do they need to know? What energies do they need to focus on embodying for this full moon, this new book that we are writing now? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any more? Thank you. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more? Okay, I'm getting told one more, which will make 7, and that's ruled by Neptune, so that makes a lot of sense. Una más? Thank you. A magician flicked out. I love it. Underlying energies is the Lovers. Beautiful. First card out, the Six of Wands. So, being victorious, going forward, not resting on our laurels, keeping our ego in check, yes? Working towards closing out of karmic cycles here. As we know, this is a massive closeout of cycles. And moving toward Six of Swords. So, moving towards new paradigms, yes? Swords facing downwards. Into brand new beginnings, that alpha and omega energy that I was speaking of earlier as well with regard to the wolf. You know, there is no beginning, there is no end. It's this eternal Ouroboros energy as well, and I'm wearing the Ouroboros here. The eternal student, and the eternal teacher. You know, we teach to learn and we learn to teach. The more that, even just is an example of me doing these videos and going through the fixed stars and the charts with you all. I'm learning as I'm teaching, you know, and I'm also getting to share everything I've learned up to that point. And by sharing it and teaching it, quote unquote teaching it, it's giving me a deeper understanding of that which I've learned. Yeah, so we learn to teach and we teach to learn. So therefore, it's imperative that we always maintain the role of student, yeah, in all of our undertakings. Yes, we are the teacher by default. However, we also have to be open, yeah, to being the student. And not everybody is these days, you know. So the Fool, and also the dog in the Fool, is the higher self in the tarot. The Seven of Pentacles. Don't get stuck in the details, and don't get stuck in the miserliness of I've put in so much effort, but look at what I've only got one pentacle harvested. You know, this is a harvest moon as well. And I didn't go into that, no, because I wanted to focus on other things. Other people have gone into the harvest moon. But it's the moon that happens in September or October, closest to the fall equinox, yeah, in the northern hemisphere, and the summer equinox or spring equinox here in the southern hemisphere. I think I said that the wrong way around. Autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, and spring equinox here in the southern hemisphere, just to clarify. So don't get carried away in that over-analysis paralysis. Know that your ships are coming in, I want to say. Yes, the first card out is the Six of Wands, you know. So don't rest on your laurels. Here with the wreath. It is a wreath. It doesn't look like a laurel, but he's wearing a laurel on his head. And that phrase, don't rest on your laurels, the meaning and the symbolism of that phrase or old adage is that we don't rest on the work that we've already accomplished. We must continue. We must continue to create. We must continue to forge forward, yes? And with the Justice card, this also pertains to that effort that we put in. We will reap the rewards, right? The Ten of Swords is just pertaining to no more self-sabotage, no more self-betrayal, closing out of cycles, and knowing when to take rest. When does your vessel need to rest? You need to take the rest required, yeah? And the Six of Swords, again, that inward introspection here. Yes, leaving the tumultuous waters for smoother lands, for smoother waters. There's something else here they're telling me. Okay, what am I looking at? No more hiding away. They're drawing to me to the woman because this man is a guide as well. So perhaps as well you might find, I just did say maybe you might meet a new animal guide or yeah, as a totem animal. So perhaps a new guide is coming in for you. So there's no more hiding because this man is a guide for the woman and the child. But they're telling me the word smuggler. So it's like no more hiding away because she's like hidden under her cloak, yeah? No more hiding away. It's time to like come out and be loud and proud about who you are, okay? And that was a message as well in the transmission for the Aquarius full moon. Aquarius full moon? Yes, Aquarius full moon transmission. So if you want to go and check that out here as well on my channel, I really highly recommend it because that was about embracing all of yourself as well. And then the final card out is the Magician, yeah? Infinity symbol as well, so 8 energy, Aries energy, Mercury energy as well, yeah. And also they're telling me to focus on your grounding, all right? He did flick out nice and reversed in the middle of the deck there, yeah, and he landed around the Ten of Swords and the Six of Swords, which is air energy. So what I want to tell you is ground yourself, because if you're not grounded, right, and think about the glyph, if you're not grounded, the manifestations aren't going to happen. I'm going to do my best to not cut my sentences off anymore. Your manifestations won't come in if you can't ground. Now, if you think about the glyph of Neptune, okay, it's a 3-pronged fork with an upside down cross, yeah? This is like, think of it of the Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? For argument's sake. But that grounding down with the cross, that is driving all of that source consciousness down into the earth, yeah? In order for things to manifest, in order for the visions to manifest, right? It has to be grounded down into the earth. So with the Magician coming out as the final card, you've got to focus on your grounding. Yeah, you can't be up in the ethers, flying away all the time, as much as so much fun. Don't get me wrong, I love it. Meditation is amazing. Visualization and journeying is fantastic, and it's divine. It really is, you know. But at the same time, if you're trying to create in the physical, Yes, thank you so much. I'm just getting told now as well, you have to learn to walk fully and embodied on the earthly plane. This is not just about ascension. You're not just ascending to 9, 12, 15th dimensional consciousness. You have to learn to embody what it is to be human. Is there anything further to that? Yes, you have to ground your transcendence. Yes, you transcend duality, you transcend levels and frequencies of consciousness. In order for them to be of any use to anybody, they need to be grounded. Yes? Okay, thank you. I got for now, and I was like, okay, wonderful. Alright, so underlying energies is the Lovers with the King of Pentacles, the Hierophant. Look at all these major arcana, guys. The Death card, King of Wands, Five of Cups, Knight of Cups, Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups, to the Three of Cups, and I got told to go one more. The Sun card. So, as we've been saying, like, this is a full moon, okay? So it's all about releasing just as much as what it is about manifestation, okay? And and that's why I think it's really great that the Magician came out, because it's reminding you that yes, you've got to release some certain ideologies. You've got to shift your perspective. Yeah? Shifting your perspective is the most powerful thing you can do to release yourself and liberate yourself. Yes? Just pardon me one moment. So this underlying energy, right, of Gemini, Mercury energy, we've got King of Pentacles next to the Hierophant, so that's big Taurus energy, with the Death card, Scorpio energy, King of Wands to the Five of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Cups, to the Three of Cups. Ooh. Lovers, King of Pentacles, Hierophant gives me big energies of, you know now, which you, or if you don't know now, you will be deciding very shortly on what you want to commit to. Yeah? And the King of Pentacles is one of the most grounded earth signs, yeah? Like, he's stable, consistent, sure of himself, confident without being egotistical, yeah? And with the Hierophant here, you just beware of the dogma and the narrow-mindedness that might stop you from surrendering with the Death card here and that Plutonian scorpionic energy into the King of Wands. Yes, the King of Wands has all of the knowledge that he's gained through the journey of the Wands. Going to the Five of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Eight of Cups, this is just full moon energy to me in general anyway. It's a very internal time. Like, this whole day for me, like, I got my moon as well, just on the down low. So I'm normally very, very to myself during that time. However, with this full moon energy, it felt super dreamy. It felt super like I needed to be in my own space. I've been trying to make this video all day, you know, like, I even after preparing all the slides and everything like that, it was just like, no, I don't feel it's time, you know. So I didn't start recording until like 12:30, 1 a.m. or something crazy like that, because I was just like, no, I need that time for myself in this moon, you know. Like, this moon is really, it felt really potent, and it felt very important for me to focus my energies here with me right now. Does that make sense? And so it's not surprising that the Five of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Nine of Swords with the Eight of Cups is here, because this moon will make you go inward. You know, we've got the Death card here as well. So it's like, you have to learn how to surrender with as much grace as possible. 11:44, 47 it was on the clock when I looked at it. At past hurts, you know, perhaps rejection as well. I'm feeling here with the 5 of Cups and the Knight of Cups to the 9 of Swords. There's like the Knight of Cups in between the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Swords, and then going on to the 8 of Cups. It's like someone going away to lick their wounds, yeah? But then when you do that though, and you come to the realization, because that's the thing you have to understand, this man, he's walking to the top of the mountain with the full moon, mind you, to become the hermit. And after he does so, he comes to a greater understanding and appreciation of everything that he has in his life and the things that he can create going forward. This is Merlin energy as well, so we have double magician on the table as far as I'm concerned. So I feel that is a really beautiful read for you all. Are there any other messages, please, that the collective need to receive from this spread here? They're just drawing me to the 10 of Swords, specifically the top of the hilts of the blade, like of the handles. The hilts here, in the black part of the card. Yeah, I'm seeing it, but what is the point? Oh, well, I've touched on that. I'm just getting told to show you the different angles of the hilts. See how this one's on a weird angle, then this one's sort of dead straight to the, then this one's more of an angle, and these are all on different angles. I don't know what that means to any of you, but if I'll just leave it there for you to have a look at. And what else do you see? I got told to point that out to somebody here. To me, it just is like varying levels of perspective. Yeah, and about a perspective shift, which we already touched on. So, okay. It's not making out any pictures or anything like that I can see. Like, I thought I might be seeing a face or another image within the card there. I'm sorry, I'm not picking up what you're putting down, Spirit. Not fully anyway. Is there anything else? The blues. The blue is important, they're telling me. The blue on the hilts are important. Yeah, so that's the blue is throat chakra as well. And also Pisces color. So, is there anything else, please? No? Alright. The death card's being picked out. And they were drawing me to the skeleton's face at first. So how have you changed since Scorpio season last year? What happened in Scorpio season last year for you? And there's something about March, early March, 2nd of March, they're telling me. Second and 18th of March, I'm being told, of this year. This is the Rosicrucian flower as well in the top, and it is a 13, which is the goddess number. The child here is the only one that's like really open and happy to see death arrive as well. So maybe that's what you need a bit more of. Maybe in some aspects of your life you need to be a little bit more naive, you know? Be a little bit more joyful and not so cynical or jaded, yeah? You will feel like you'll got more wind in your sails, they're telling me. You know, after the next 3 days, yeah. When the moon shifts to about 15, well, by the time it hits 15 degrees of Aries, it's going to be conjuncting Chiron retrograde. So maybe that will enact the shift that you require. They're pointing me to the knees of the horseman right now as well. So like, what direction are you going in life? I feel you've got to focus on that as well, yeah? Your purity of your heart, of which direction you want to go in. Because this 5 of Cups, Knight of Cups, 9 of Swords energy, if you don't allow that to come up and out and address it and heal it and integrate it, it will tarnish anything going forward. Yes? And they're specifically showing me tarnish, like on a goblet, a platinum goblet, and it's got black tarnish on it. Yeah? Do you want to be a sparkling, clear? Do you want to feel clear? Or do you want to allow things that you'd rather not admit the presence of, allow that to mar and tarnish a beautiful future that, if you go to the top of the mountain in the 8 of the Cups, get the higher awareness, beautiful big things are coming in. And you know, we had all that Jupiter energy in the munificers of the deacons in the traditional charts, right? And yes, the fixed stars and asteroids were intense. However, as Drake and Shyla pointed out to you in the wolf medicine section, you know, like, follow her. She'll help you guide your footsteps. Yeah, she is the lighter aspect. Shyla is the lighter aspect for me. Drake is the darker aspect. And he said seeing in the dark, or she said about seeing in the dark, and he said about coming to find him. And he is the shadow. He is the wildness in me. Yeah. So don't ignore that which is begging for your attention. Yeah, within you. Yeah, because it will continue to make noise and make disruptions in your reality until you acknowledge it. Okay? So, before my voice really starts to go, I'm going to read 17 degrees of Ellias Lonsdale's Pisces. Thank you, Spirit, for the messages. I really appreciate you. Alright, so, yes, I did mark it. 17 degrees, what is it? Again, as usual, I haven't read it because I want to be surprised. I like being surprised with you guys. It's fun for me. Alright, so Pisces are Inside Degrees for those new to the channel by Elias Lonsdale. One of my most favorite books in the world. It's titled A Kangaroo and Her Baby Who Looks Out from the Mother's Pouch. Held as a cherished one in the womb of the world, a seed bearer for the future. You are inwardly alive to multi-sensory faculties and worlds within worlds within worlds. Wow. Bearing a legacy from the deep down under realms. An earth call to let the future resonate as it must with all that has ever been here. Profoundly moved by the human drama and its pathos, while feeling almost smuggled into witness and be amazed by the phenomena of the sense of life. Radically other, immensely in exile, and in the meantime making the very most of the chance to fathom the ways of Earth and the dazzling idiosyncrasies of the human species. Wow, I was hearing smuggled when I saw the Six of Swords. That's why I was like, ah! Sorry. What a beautiful message. And the worlds within worlds within worlds. The article that I've linked below in 2019 that I wrote before I got this book, I'm pretty sure it was, anyways, is called Worlds with Neptune Retrograde, Worlds Within Worlds. So there's another synchronicity. Please go and check out that blog article. I definitely have messages for you. This is beautiful. Held as a cherished one in the womb of the world. That's so, so beautiful. And radically other, immensely in exile. Five of Cups, Knight of Cups, Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups. Very symbolic, very synchronistic. It all serves, right? I think the transmission said it as well. Like, everything that you're witnessing and observing that appears and you experience in your reality serves your divine purpose, or serves a divine purpose as well as your divine purpose. Yeah? So, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly hope it serves. I have $50 natal charts still available. I'm wishing you all the full moon blessings. Yeah, I know this is quote unquote late again. However, I've got to trust what I'm guided to do, you know, and I can't force the stuff. It just is not in me. It doesn't feel right. And this felt right doing it tonight at this time. And so I do trust that it's going to be received by those who are desiring it. Yeah. So thank you all so much for being here, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I would love to hear in the comments any feedback, any suggestions to make this more watchable and more enjoyable for you, you know. The reviews are going well. I'm just not getting a lot of engagement, so I'm like, am I doing something wrong? I don't know. Alright, so yeah, $50 natal charts are still available, and I have yet to change my pricing. I felt really guided to hold off on releasing my new offerings and things like this the other day when I said I was going to. So yeah, I'm gonna wait until it feels right to do it again. So definitely jump on the links below and book in a session with me, because these prices are not going to be around for long. Yeah, I was supposed to change everything around on the 9th of September, and then come the day, I went to go and do it a couple of times and post it and everything online and promote it, and it didn't feel right. So I'm not forcing it, I'm trusting. And the 9th of September is like my business anniversary of when I first created Zara Wolf. When I very first started my business, I was known as Zara Wolf back then. So, and in homage to Shyla, my guide, yes, I changed my name. Anyways, I'm sending you all the full moon blessings. Thank you so much again for being here. I truly, truly hope that it served and that you got something out of it. Because yeah, I love what I do, and I trust in the divine flow that all of my creations come through. So I'm really do hoping that they land when they need to. Alright, so much love and blessings, and I'll catch you on the next video. Please check out the weeklies, as well as the weekly energy tip and the weekly tarot elements, all signs. There's also a chapter of the Kabbalion. Check out the playlists and have a look around. There's lots here for you to have a feel into, and yeah, there's so much more coming as well. So yeah, have a beautiful full moon and a beautiful weekend, and I will see you again soon for Psychic Sunday. on my Instagram. Alright, bye!